Hello guys, my name is Tom Antos, and in this video I'm going to do a review of the Zhiyun-Tech Crane 2 Gimbal. So this is one of many gimbals on the market these days that allows you to hold it single-handedly and operate it with the single hand, sort of like a pistol style grip gimbal that is usually meant for smaller to kind of mid-sized cameras. Now the max weight that this gimbal will handle is actually 7 pounds, which is on the upper scale when you're comparing it to other similar gimbals of that style, but it's not the biggest weight capacity. For example, the DJI Ronin-S can take almost 8 pounds. There's also another gimbal that's actually quite a bit smaller and lighter than this one that can also handle 7 pounds or 3.2 kilograms, and that's the masz Air. Now where this gimbal really stands out is in the functionality that it provides in terms of the connectivity with your cameras and some other accessories. Now one function that I really like about this is that this gimbal can not only stabilize your camera, but it can also provide power to those cameras that desperately need extra battery power, like this Sony a6500 that uses those tiny little batteries. Most annoying thing before, whenever I was using this camera on any gimbal, is that all too often I would have to take the camera off and swap out the batteries and then put it back on and kind of rebalance it quickly. Whereas when I have this camera on the Zhiyun-Tech Crane 2 gimbal, I can just connect it using this little micro USB cable that's provided directly to the gimbal, and I can actually power this camera for as long as the batteries basically will last in the gimbal. Now the batteries in the gimbal are rated at around 18 hours of usage. I've never actually used it for that long, but when I was using it in conjunction with the Sony a6500 and I was using it to power that, along with powering the follow focus accessory that I have up here, I was able to run it for just around 6 hours of use, which is amazing because, again, that means that for 6 hours I did not have to worry about swapping batteries in my camera. Now another advantage of connecting the camera to your gimbal is also so that you can control the camera. So you can actually control various settings in your camera. You can also start and stop the camera just by pressing the little record button on the back of this gimbal, which really means that you can single-handedly operate this because you never need to reach with your other hand up here or change settings really in your camera. There's various hacks out there that you can find so you can actually get extra control functionality on the Sony cameras. The cameras that have the most connectivity are actually going to be Canon cameras. Has nothing to do really with the gimbal. It's more with the protocol that Canon. The fact that Canon actually allows other accessories to control the cameras. And what that means is that you can control the shutter speed, the aperture in your camera. You can actually see all the settings of your camera displayed on the little LED display here on the back. Plus, you can even adjust the focus in your Canon lenses by using this little ring. Now, because I'm using Sony camera with Sony lenses normally, that means I can't use this wheel to control the focus on those lenses unless I use this little accessory, which is their follow focus accessory, and you can actually get this gimbal as a kit with that for pretty much the same price these days. So if you guys are interested where I found this deal, just check the links in the description of this video. But I think this is a great accessory to get because this means now that you can use any camera with any lens, even manual cinema lenses, and you can still actually operate the focus on this single-handedly. So you'll basically be operating pretty much the gimbal with one hand, holding it like this, and then the other hand you can just go up here, and as you can see, as I turn this, the focus here changes on my lens. So it's a beautiful thing because now it means that you no longer have to rely on AF in your camera. You can actually use, like I said, cinema glass that's manual lenses, and you can perfectly nail the focus in your shots. Some other things that I really like about this gimbal are just little things like, for example, the fact that they have a Manfrotto compatible quick release plate included with it, so you can easily again swap the camera out, put it on your Manfrotto tripod, and put it back on your gimbal. This gimbal also has some pretty cool different modes. It has your standard, sort of locked off mode where the camera will not move unless you use the joystick or, for example, the phone app, because you can actually connect via Bluetooth using the phone app that the company provides, and you can actually operate this gimbal remotely using your phone. So you have your locked off mode. You also have your pen follow, meaning it will follow on the pan axis, but it will always stay level. You also have the most common, which is the full follow mode, meaning you can, make it point up and down, left and right. But it even has what's called the POV mode, meaning, again, you can follow up, down, left and right, but you can also go on the roll axis and you can sort of get these creative Dutch angle, shots. So it's kind of cool that all these, profiles are included. I'm sure they're going to add other features. By the way, to get all these profiles, you do have to upgrade to the latest firmware, which is pretty easy to do. Just follow the instructions that the gimbal comes with. And what's even better is because they have a little LCD here display on the back, you can actually see exactly what profile mode you're in. You can even access the menu up here, change the settings. So, for example, if you want to make the gimbal be a little bit more responsive, so it's kind of more, let's say, for sports shooting, you can do quick whip pins and stuff like that. You can change that. Or if you want it to be very smooth, very slow, all these different settings, the strength of your motors, and a whole bunch of other things that I'm not even going to try to get into in this video. But you can access and change all those settings here using the buttons and the little LCD display. And as you can see, you can operate all of those modes that I mentioned in the standard upright mode or underslung mode if you want to get those low angle shots. And I've actually had a chance to use this gimbal on various little projects I've been shooting over the last few weeks. I've used this gimbal while shooting at the Myrtle Beach Safari, really great place if you want to go do something fun while you're in Myrtle Beach, and you also want to kind of get a hands-on experience with various animals, like for example tiger cubs and lion cubs, and even the full-size animals. You'll get to see them, you'll get to interact with a lot of them, and just a really great place. And that's where I actually used this gimbal. And even though a lot of the shooting was so sporadic, me just kind of running around trying to get a cool angle here, a cool angle there, I still was able to get a lot of really nicely composed and smooth shots, and all thanks to the Zhiyun-Tech Crane 2 gimbal. For example, when using this for my home videos, one of the functionalities that I really like is the selfie mode, which with the triple tap of the button, you see the camera enters selfie mode. You can get the shot of you, and then again you can triple press it and we'll go back to your previous setting. So when you buy the gimbal, you're also going to get this very nice looking and sturdy protective case that will hold your gimbal and all the accessories that come with it. For example, you get the manuals, you get the charger for the batteries, another little case in it for all the cables. All the cables for the different cameras you can connect to the gimbal are included. Cameras such as Sony, Canon, and Panasonic. You also get the gear for the follow focus if you get the version with the external follow focus. They even provide you with anti-slip grip tape. And like I said, everything including the follow focus fits into this case. You also get lens support, which in this case you can see I have it attached, but I'm not actually using it because it's not a big and heavy lens. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that this gimbal produces smooth shots, which is obviously very important. So what are the bad things about this gimbal? Well, there's really three things that are kind of bugging me about it. The first one is the weight. Overall, it's just a larger gimbal. Even the handle here is pretty big. So for me, kind of a mid-size, hands, kind of a size of person, it's already kind of hard gripping this because the gimbal is so thick, the handle itself. But also it's heavy. It's a heavy gimbal, and I don't know exactly what's the weight of this, because again, it depends on the accessories you put on there. But with the batteries, with the camera, with this little accessory that I have for the follow focus, this gimbal weighs, I would guess, over 10 pounds. It is quite a workout holding this. So definitely you got to be ready to, to put in some work hours there at the gym or something, or get somebody who's a little bit stronger to operate this. Next thing I don't like about this gimbal is the fact that it does not have any attachment right here, especially here on the top of the handle, for a monitor. No Q20 attachments, which most other gimbals that I like using, like the Mozwa Air, they have that, and I think it's crucial because for me, a lot of times, especially if I'm pulling focus using something like this, I want to have a bigger screen that I can look at than this sort of horrible screens that you have on the back of these cameras. So having an ability to directly connect a monitor right here would be great. There's a Q20 here on the bottom. Unfortunately, if you have the tripod that's included with it, attached to it, then you can attach a monitor. There are other accessories that I know the company has that allows you to have like this little handle. But again, I think it's just would be great to have a Q20 attachment right there on the handle. And then the last thing I would say is just in one of the profile settings, which is the full follow mode that I have up here right now. It's great. It operates, wonderfully smooth and everything. I just wish that you could still offset the neutral position in follow mode, because for example, a lot of times I want to have the camera kind of like in what I call like a flashlight mode, where the camera is kind of, or I'm holding the gimbal like this, but I want the camera to actually be still looking forward, and so I can offset basically the neutral position. Well, I can't do that with the current profile that they have up here. So the guys who are actually writing the software for this, if you're listening to me, when you're watching this video, please add that functionality, because for example, you can still in full follow mode, you can just by using the joystick, you can adjust its, for example, roll position, so I can offset it to be a Dutch angle and things like that. And I really don't know why, for example, when I'm moving up and down, I'm not allowed, not able to basically adjust its, tilt positions. I can actually maybe, like I said, if I wanted to just be neutrally pointing up, but still be in follow mode. If you are in the standard mode, like for example, the locked off mode, or for example, on the pan follow only, then guess what? You can do that. So I can go up here and I can have my sort of flashlight mode. But the thing that now sucks about it is it only follows my motion left and right, and it does not look up or down, and I have to then use that joystick, and it would be great to have, again, this ability in the full follow mode. But if you're in the market for a gimbal that can handle, like I said, on the higher scale of camera setups, like I said, up to 7 pounds, and also a gimbal that allows you to connect follow focus, allows you to adjust, for example, various camera settings, start and stop the camera, have, for example, time-lapse capability using their app, and a whole bunch of other advanced functionality. This is definitely one of the gimbals I can recommend. Now, I am going to be doing actually a follow-up video where I kind of review this and compare it to some of the other gimbals on the market that I think are very similar, like the Mozwa Air or the DJI Ronin-S. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick look at the Zhiyun-Tech Crane 2 gimbal. And like I said, if you guys want to see the follow-up videos, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks, bye.